Hey, you're listening to No Limits, episode 72. The Game Awards just happened, and Blade's getting a video game that might not come to PlayStation because it's being developed by Arcane Leon, but maybe it is. I don't know. All right, bye. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Sam and Brianna. You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. Remember, you can find the video version of this pod over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services, and we would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you, just like our current patrons did. Bucky Blue, Amon, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai Knight, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, David Hotterite, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Alpaca Tom, and Lee Navarro. And on Patreon now, it's only $1 to get access to early shows and Patreon exclusive content, like the post show, which we will be recording today, where we go over Sam's top 25 games of all time. Last week we went over my top 25. And Anthem may or may not have been there. All right? So you'll have to listen to find out. It's not there. I don't care about Anthem. I never played it. Okay? Anyway, go over to Patreon. Check all that out. YouTube, it's Save the Game Media, as I previously said. Discord, links are on the show notes. How are we doing, my dudes?
Well, my dude. Well,
I started watching Big Lebowski a couple days ago, so there's a lot of dude happening right now.
Dude, where's the money? You know,
where's the money? Right.
Yeah, I'm good. Very busy as always. Getting towards winding down for the year. On a project that I can actually talk about now, which is good.
Ooh, what is it?
It's Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
The mid Dora.
So people have been saying, but it's not copium. I'm actually telling you, it's probably the best Ubisoft game that's come out in like 5 years.
Wow, you think it's better than Valhalla and Odyssey?
Yeah, I think so.
But not as good as Origins.
I liked Origins, but I think it hasn't aged well, like mechanically. And also like the new formula of Assassin's Creed got old very quickly, more so than the traditional Assassin's Creed. So after playing Odyssey and Valhalla after Origins, going back to Origins, it sort of sours the taste a little bit. But no, I think Avatar of Frontiers of Pandora it's nothing special. It's not super impressive other than its visuals. Like visually, I think it's probably one of the best looking games I've seen. Like really, really impressive, particularly environmentally. The world looks just stunning. I'm having a lot of fun. It's eating up a lot of my time, as you would expect with a Ubisoft open world game, and it is a big open world. But you get to fly around on your little flying thing. Indeed. I just said I was going to say like Ikran, but they're like people don't know what that means probably. So I was like, it's a flying thing. It's a cute little lizard flying thing. You can ride around on horses. You can chat with people. You can get
horses in Pandora.
Yeah, I mean they're like alien horses, but
okay. I was about to say, did Americans just import horses?
It's kind of like Sleipnir with Odin. Like it's a horse that has like 3 legs at the front, that kind of thing. And you connect to it with your hair, which of course is how things work in Avatar.
Are there any Na'vi? Wait, they're called Na'vi, right?
They are.
Are there any intimate Na'vi scenes in Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Sam?
I cannot confirm yet. I don't know. Thus
their
far,
their hair touches.
thus far, no. I would be thoroughly surprised if there was, but I can't discount it entirely because it might happen. I'm probably like about halfway through, maybe. I could have probably gotten a lot more done, but I am obviously, in terms of coverage for IGN, having to do a lot of side stuff, collectible stuff, dipping my fingers into every pot that they have, and there are a lot of pots. So it's been quite slow, but it's good. It's a fun time. It is like the most 7 I could give, but it's like a 7 that I love, like a 9.
Good. This is like heaven territory. We love good games.
Yeah. That's me. That's what I've been doing.
Nice. How's the performance?
It's running really well, like stable. You can switch between quality and performance. Obviously, I've actually been on quality a lot, mainly because I'm having to get like screen grabs, and because there's so much dense vegetation and stuff, I need it to be looking as sharp as possible. But even at quality, at 30, it's still running really stably. Even when there's a lot of stuff going on, when you're in like massive firefights, flying around in the sky, shooting helicopters out of the air, that kind of stuff, there's no chugging. A few like visual bugs, but nothing game breaking. It's just like lighting sort of starts flickering every now and then in specific areas or at specific times of day, but nothing bad majorly. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll probably pick it up for $10 on PC one day.
At that price, I would highly encourage it. If you don't mind Far Cry and are even vaguely interested in Avatar,
I love Far Cry 5. I haven't played Far Cry 6, but Far Cry 5 was my jam. I
think this would be your jam at a discount.
All right. And I don't care for the movies. I really don't. The world is cool. The first movie I thought was not a good movie, but I'm down for the world.
Think of it as Far Cry, but in the world of Avatar, and
you can go flying with the stupid creatures, and nice.
Stupid.
So in the first movie, he mounted the big one that was like.
Don't like it when you put it like that, but yeah, you did.
Yeah. What? Wait. Let me clarify. The large flying creature that was supposed to be untamable.
Yes.
What was his name? Sully, right?
Well, I mean, that's the
guy's name.
Main character. Yeah.
Sully,
big flying creature.
Sully tamed and made his companion this big flying thing that had like this red chin or red.
They're called banshees.
Crown thing. Mm-hmm. Is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen the films, Taylor. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Can you mount more powerful versions of those animals? Like in Breath of the Wild, you can get bigger horses.
As far as I've seen, I mean, you very early on in the game, well, not early on, like a few hours in, you go up to the floating mountains, which if you've seen the film or even vaguely are familiar with Avatar, they've got like floating mountains in the sky. You clamber all your way up to the very top, and then you bond with your one specific flying mount, which is how it works in the films as well.
I remember that.
You're bonded for life. I haven't seen I stand corrected. There are other larger flying things, but as far as I can see, you aren't going to have the chance to ride any of them. You are like, you've got your flying buddy, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, check it out eventually. Well, I think Star Wars Outlaws is my most anticipated Ubisoft game, and it's been that way since it was revealed.
Also from Massive, so
Mass. So is
Massive
Ubisoft published
Avatar as well,
but Massive develops it.
Mm-hmm. Division people.
Yeah, and knowing how aggressive Ubisoft games get discounted, it will be $10 in a year. So,
yeah, I would imagine so.
Nice. How about you, Bree?
I've been playing League mostly. A new champion came out, Hui, and he is beautiful.
He's got a whole lot of
And
spells. No,
he does. He has a
He
whole lot of
does.
spells,
Yeah.
and he has white hair in one of his, like in his skin, his winter blessed skin. And yeah, it's just a combination for disaster for me. I texted Kyle. I said, "This will be my life for the next I don't know how long."
So you play League more for the characters than the game.
No, not necessarily, but I do get drawn back in by stuff like that. That or Earth. Every time Earth happens, I don't do anything besides play that game mode when it comes back. So that's mostly what I've been doing. I have been slowly working on Blasphemous still. The first one.
Blasphemous, the first one, okay.
Yep. It is really a fantastic game. The animation and art is like insane. It has great mechanics. It's a fantastic game. I really enjoy it. If you like Souls likes at all, I definitely recommend it. It's very. I want to be very clear. I think Hollow Knight is definitely a better game, but it's very Hollow Knight esque.
That you gifted me. Thank you, Bree.
You're welcome. For
Shoots
no
me Hollow
particular
Knight.
reason.
Nope.
That's not true, but you know. Anyways, so yes, Blasphemous, I believe, is still free on PlayStation Extra.
Nice.
And so yeah, definitely recommend checking it out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think I might have said this last week. It's in my Steam profile. I don't know how it got there. Like, I didn't buy it. Someone either gave me it or they had an extra code, and I just have Blasphemous. This is what happens when you're on PC for a long time.
Do you ever black out and just randomly buy games though, Tate?
Yes.
Is that might
No,
happen.
I swear I did not buy Blasphemous. It was. Let's check my email
Guilty.
inbox and see where did it come from. Blasphemous.
I 100% randomly buy games.
Blasphemous.
course.
Not as bad as
It's
it's
too
not
easy
as
on
bad as the
Steam.
books.
No, it doesn't show up in my email, probably because no, there should have had an email saying add it to your Steam library. Well, I guess only if you buy it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm almost positive. Yeah, it was a Steam code that someone gave me. I didn't buy it.
It's one of those unanswerable mysteries.
Dude, my whole Epic Games library, I forgot I have like 70 Epic games on PC because I just redeemed free ones, including Alan Wake Remastered, including Batman Trilogy, GTA 5, Celeste. There's a ton of Edith Finch gets a place in there. Like, it's stupid. I just use Epic for their games. Never spend money there. Although, when I would get it, when I eventually get to Alan Wake 2, I will have to purchase it in the Epic Games Store. It's the only place it's available on PC. Sad face.
Yeah.
I also just want to shout out because I think it's cool. I'm almost at 40 books. I'm trying to get to 42 for obvious reasons for the year.
Whoa. You read 40 books?
Almost. I'm almost
Reading
at 40
books seems so fun because, like, compared to games, a book takes what? 3 to 5 hours?
Yeah. I definitely don't read 1,000+ page fan fictions.
Are you counting those on your book list?
I've read 2 fan fictions thus far in my entire life, and I did count both of them because they're like on Goodreads. So if they're on Goodreads, I think they count. But they were very long, longer than a lot of the books that I've read this year.
I underestimate how long it takes to read a book. According to Google, the average reader takes 11 hours to read a 400-page book.
Yeah. So, I would say I'm unfortunately because I'm trying to read more quantity books because I'm competing with somebody, but I'm prone to reading longer books. So
just read short stories from Amazon that are self-published, and you can read probably 200 books.
That's fair.
Because they're like 30-page books.
That's fair. I have been reading Kindle Unlimited stuff, which is like, it's like that garbage that's like good garbage. I enjoy it.
I'm going to act like I know what you're talking about.
Okay. You could ask a question, but
What's good garbage? Is it like sweaty romance, or what's the good garbage?
I mean, it can be like any genre, but it's basically like where you recognize that perhaps the writing isn't very good and there's probably some plot holes, but it was a good time.
Like,
You know?
yeah, like Heaven's Games.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion.
I really want to play that game.
Yeah.
One day. One day. What about you, Taylor? What have you been up to? How are you? All that stuff.
Pretty good. I'm closing in on a new, or I should be signing this week, lease at my new apartment. So
Ooh.
moving in January, and
Moving's the worst.
I'm just moving across the street. I'm moving like literally across a street. So it's like, yes, but also it's just, let me just lug this thing like 200 feet.
Oh, that's not bad. Actually, maybe that's worse.
I guess it's not 200 feet. What do you mean? Of course it's not worse. You have to, if I had to drive, I'd have to put in a U-Haul, get a U-Haul. I hate driving large
But then you may have to
vehicles.
carry it less distance.
Yeah, but then you have to drive a U-Haul. I hate
Fair.
driving.
I don't.
U-Hauls.
I've never drove a U-Haul. I always make somebody around me do it.
I drove a U-Haul cargo van. Worst experience of my life. Hate it. I can't imagine driving the full thing with the truck.
I don't
full
think I
U-Haul truck.
could. The most I can handle is my Fiat, and my Fiat's plenty.
Stupid big cars. Dumb. Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid dumb. Do they have U-Haul in the UK, Sam?
I mean, no, but or at least not as far as I'm aware. I've never seen it, but there are, things similar to it, just not.
Do you guys have like a company that's like this is the company that does the moving?
Yeah, it's
Or
called
helps
Beans
you
and Toast.
No,
Ew.
no, there's definitely not like the one true company kind of thing.
Mm.
I think it's far more regional here. From again, I can't say I have first-hand experience of using such a service, but from all I know, it is mainly a guy who knows a guy kind of thing.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I know a guy who can move me. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've also been playing Alan Wake Remastered, so that's fun. I'm in episode 4 now. There's a section I'm in which I wouldn't say I rage quit, but I'm like, this is stupid. I'm gonna stop playing this for now. And that was on Friday.
Yep.
I'll bring it back up today. But
let me look it up. I have to figure out where I was in, but I think that's around where I got mad. Maybe it was chapter 5. I can't remember.
So some of the gameplay, it is dated. All right, I'm really in it for the story and the atmosphere and the QR codes that you can scan. I reached my second QR code. I also need to watch the Bright Falls show, which is 30 minutes total. So it's on the list. I aim to finish, because you know how fast I finish games, I aim to finish Alan Wake Remastered by the time we record next week.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'd say that's doable.
Yeah. Episode 4 of 6, but then there's DLC episodes, but those should be shorter, I think.
Yeah.
I just really like the atmosphere. It's, like I said, playing Mike Flanagan, Netflix horror show, and it's fun.
Can you summarize what the part was that you rage quit on in one word? Like what was it?
It was, I can tell you exactly where it was. I'm headed towards a farm.
Gotcha.
And there's a trek to a farm from a car crash.
Gotcha.
That there are just like swarms, like groups of 4 to 5 enemies coming up in batches.
Mm-hmm.
I get one down. I walk maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds more. Then a new batch comes up. I'm just like, do I just need to run past these guys and see if I can't do that? Or I think that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I do all the time.
Yeah. But your sprint stamina is so low. It feels like almost some Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween moments where it's like, oh, I'm trying to sprint. I'm getting tired. Oh.
Yeah. Based on that, I got just a little bit past you. And then like I got really mad at that section. And then there was I can't remember if it's the next section or the section after. I was like already so mad at the game that I was like, I literally I cannot. and I got so mad, and I uninstalled the game.
I'll get through it. I love the parts where inanimate objects start shaking and try to kill me. I just can't. It brings so much levity to the game. I find it hilarious. It's like, oh my god, it's a wheelbarrow. It's shaking and it's levitating. And it has me in its sights. But it's funny. Yeah.
Cool.
So, good Alan Wake. I think so far Alan Wake Remastered is narratively very good, excellent. Gameplay wise, but overall, I would call it at least pretty good right now.
That's fair.
But like, I want to see where the story goes. So, yeah, I'm in for the story, not for the gameplay. Although Shotgun is kind of fun now, like Remastered. But not spamming square to reload faster.
Yeah, that was a choice, for sure.
Yeah.
Immersive, someone could argue.
It's like Far Cry 2, guns jamming. Is that immersive? I actually like that feature. What I don't like is the malaria. I'm infected. I have to go down now, and all of a sudden, with no warning and no way to prevent it. Oops.
Yeah.
But good times. Speaking of good times, we had the Game Awards this past week. You guys were there live.
Yes.
Media stream. Sorry, on the State of the Game media stream, and I was there as a viewer in spirit. It was a show of all time, you know?
It was a show.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Blade. I think Blade was
Yeah.
the most interesting announcement.
I think that, like, I won't get too into it, but I've been seeing a lot of people like tweeting about like the show and the way that they allotted time. And I would say that I definitely echo the sentiments of like the time was not allotted correctly for the show.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I think.
Are you talking like speakers? They didn't have enough time to give their piece after they won an award?
That's certainly part of it. I think like the actual reveals and trailers and stuff of the show were actually pretty good, I would argue. It's just that everything else around it seemed really off, and at points was really off. And it's like a whole melting pot of different factors, like the fact that there have been so many layoffs this year, and there wasn't anything said about it. You know.
Yep.
No statement was made. There was the whole thing which the Future class put forward about, you know, making a statement on Israel and Palestine, that conflict that's going on, that obviously Jeff didn't do. And then like having the I don't know whether you've seen it because you're not on Twitter or anything, Taylor, but obviously started playing music about 30 seconds after an award winner started speaking to sort of usher them off. But they had like big monitors at the back of the room that said, please wrap it up. And like they were people commenting, contrasting that against the fact that like Anthony Mackie and Simu Liu got to chat for like 5 minutes about just nonsense and do crowd
and the
interaction and stuff.
Like, listen, I love the Muppets, but like that whole bit went on forever. And they like didn't have time. Like there were awards that they've announced previously, like on stage, that they didn't like. They just kind of like busted through, like really important awards too.
Yeah.
That they were just like, oh, this doesn't even deserve the time to bring the developers up. So yeah, it was very tone deaf and disappointing.
Wow.
A lot of hopeful learning points for Jeff going forward.
Hopefully.
Whether he actually actions on them, I don't know. But yeah, just I think the balancing of everything and the awareness of context and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't there this year, which was unfortunate.
I always viewed the Game Awards as a marketing show, not a critical.
Oh, for sure.
Sure,
But I
if
think
you-
that they leaned far more into the marketing at the expense of
right.
the awards, which I don't think has happened quite as much in previous years.
Right. If you want some real game, if you want a real award show, if you want an award show, let me clarify. Award show that's made by developers for developers, right? You go to the Games Developers Conference, GDC, or the DICE Awards,
Even joysticks.
or the Golden Joysticks, or another one. But that's UK specifically, right? Or is it industry
Sure,
wide?
but-
It's just based in the UK.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that, like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they, at the start of the show last year, they said something about what was going on world event wise.
What was going on the show
well,
last year, world event wise? Was it COVID?
No, Jeff.
Was it?
Jeff definitely made. I can't remember whether it was last year or the year before. But Jeff definitely made a comment about. Well, he didn't specifically say Activision Blizzard, but he said about
Oh,
everyone deserves to be treated with respect and
oh,
stuff like
he
that.
was the Bobby Kotick stuff was heating up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't actually
that's
like
what it
call
was.
anybody specific out, but he
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah,
generally talked
something.
about that.
politicians move. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are sorry that you're experiencing hardship, for which I cannot further clarify.
Yeah. I think that somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody said if this show was called Winter Games Fest as opposed to the Game Awards, there would be almost no issue because it's just another version of Summer
answer.
Games Fest. But like to call it the Game Awards, it's kind of like, and I know it's not a one-to-one comparison, but a lot of people have been saying like at the Oscars, they aren't just showing trailer after trailer after trailer for upcoming films. It is about celebrating the films that
year.
came out and letting the people that made the films talk.
Yeah, the Game Awards are not the Oscars.
I really,
but they did say it is sort of like you took an amazing year of games and arguably you made it seem like the people that made the games were the least important ones there.
Yeah,
is not great.
I think that like I've seen, especially with how long the show was this year, like people saying like just split it into 2 days. Like I don't think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Like let the award ceremony exist as an award ceremony, and if less people watch, less people watch. But like, give the developers their moment, let them, thank who they need to thank, or give long speeches if they need to, or whatever. Just like let it be an award show. And then the next day or the day before, do all of the like announcements and crazy hype moments and make it a more succinct show that way. But who knows?
I actually think that would be quite smart. If you have a 2-day event and have the awards first, but with the awards, you still pepper in a few announcements. So, obviously you would hope that people would want to tune in to see who wins regardless, but to have an additional incentive of like, you're going to get some announcements made here. So you're still going to want to tune in. And then you can have the second day be like the Winter Games Fest type thing where they just have an additional splurge of stuff coming out. I think that would be probably the best bet rather than trying to smush everything into one show, which hasn't worked this year anyway.
Yep.
All good points. I do like Summer Games Fest though as the E3 replacement. I'm like, it's not as good as E3, but it's like I think it's sufficient. I really missed, do I miss the nostalgia of Reggie saying my body is ready, or the Splatoon guys coming out on? I guess I associate a lot of E3 with Nintendo news, but the God of War reveal, Todd Howard for Fallout 4, it's coming out this fall. I don't know. I feel like we've done a good job of band-aiding E3 replacement or replacements.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
I do also want to call out, because I think it was really important, that chicken moment. I just want to say I think Mort the Chicken is coming back.
I remember you mentioning that on stream, and I was like, yeah.
We can't have a whole chicken moment and not be about Mort the Chicken. I live
It's
to
only-
annoy.
It's only a game. It's not based off a show. It's
More the chicken?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a video game.
I thought it was based on a stupid show, but it's not.
No, the beginning of the game starts with like a news announcement, though.
Oh wait, in a universe where the chickens are the dominant species, more the chicken stars in his own television show. That's canon for the game's plot. Ubisoft published it. I'm so sorry for Ubisoft.
It's such a good game, you guys. You don't know what you're missing out on. All right, we should get going on news so we don't go too long so we can do the post show.
Right. Who wants to talk about
I'll do
Bree
it.
wants to talk about with your controller. I want that controller. I looked it up and it's like secondhand for $130. I'm like, God, I hate this.
What did you expect?
I expected it to still be available. All right, stupid me.
God of
Let's
War
get my Spider-Man
PS4 right here
controller.
as well. Not that you can see it very well. But
I also want to hack that PS4 and play Bloodborne 60 FPS on it with Lance McDonald's mod. Anyway.
I was going to make a joke about McDonald's, but I won't. God of War Ragnarok has a free Valhalla DLC and is available for download on December 12th, which I think by the time this is going live, that would be today when you're listening to this. Like live for audio, like podcast services, I should say.
Unless you're early access on Patreon. So then it is December.
Then it would still be December 12th.
Yeah.
So Valhalla will be a free epilogue to the events of God of War Ragnarok that follows Kratos on a deeply personal and reflective journey. It is accessible in the game at any time once downloaded. Okay, spoilers for Ragnarok. You've been warned. Just skip ahead like 60 seconds. Set after the decisive battle against Odin and Atreus' departure, Kratos has seen a path for himself that he never thought possible before. Brought to the mysterious shores of Valhalla, accompanied only by Mimir, Kratos will enter its unknown depths to overcome trials within himself and face echoes of his past. If Kratos falls, he will reawaken outside the doors, ready for the next try. The more you overcome, the more resources you'll gain that can be put towards permanent upgrades that affect both Kratos and even Valhalla itself. Accumulating rewards and knowledge during your attempt will help you get ever closer to discovering the mysteries that await Kratos within. Kratos does not have any functional armor and equipment, and instead build towards both per attempt and permanent rewards. Armor is cosmetic only. Kratos will have access to all of his weapon and fully upgraded skill trees at all times, but must commit to a shield and path of Spartan Rage for each attempt. You will make choices between temporary glyphs for which stats to upgrade, which perks to select, and which runics attack to wield, and more. Each attempt can play out differently based on the rewards you choose. Valhalla has 5 difficulty settings that have been specifically crafted and tuned to the unique gameplay of the DLC. Each difficulty setting increases the rewards you'll gain from battle, and you can swap freely among them between attempts, including to and from the highest difficulty setting, Show Me Mastery. This comes from Grace Orland at the PlayStation blog. Woo, that was a lot of talking.
Dope.
Not what I was expecting, but I'm excited about it.
At first,
Do you
I'm
think
like,
this means we're getting another one?
No.
I don't know. So when I first saw this, I'm like, roguelite, I want to die. But then, okay, let me back up. Okay, I don't hate roguelites. It's just I never feel compelled to play them because there's never an ending. But with this one, it looks like there is one. There's at least a lot of narrative to be had. It says it's going through Kratos'. It says it's going through Kratos' past. So I'm like, oh yeah, I want some. Because my favorite parts of 2018 was when we delved into his past. And I would like to explore more into that and see what Sony brings up from the past games. Pre-2018.
All of roguelites do have endings.
Well, Hades does, right? But like Binding of Isaac doesn't, does it? Does it Binding of Isaac have an ending?
It does. Yeah. Okay. Returnal has an ending.
Just shut up, all right? Maybe I'm just not into roguelites that much.
Sorry, Bree, I cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say that I think that I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy playing. I will be playing this for sure. I have a feeling I'll enjoy playing the DLC. However, will wish that I'm playing it in context of the game is my suspicion. So I guess we'll see what actually ends up happening. But you know,
And by that you mean, sorry?
meaning like because it's supposed to be set kind of in the middle of the game rather than like a post game. I think that if you haven't played the game before and you play it where it's like set after the decisive battle, like if you play it after that, I wonder if it would be a better experience. Not that it would be a terrible experience otherwise. That's just thoughts.
Yeah, but I mean, you've played Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an issue for you, though.
No, I'm not saying that it's an issue. I'm saying that I think that because I've beat everything, I think I would rather play it in the middle of the game and rather have not played. Like, I wish that this had come out with the game.
Right, I see. But you're saying you would have still played it after finishing the story?
No, I'm saying I would have played it where it, like, supposedly is. Oh, I guess it is.
But this
I
is
realized
after this.
this is after the story.
Is it after the
Oh, for
epilogue?
some reason, my brain was equating it to when Atreus and Odin have that first falling out.
No.
Oh no,
Okay.
it's after the final encounter.
Okay.
This is like full on epilogue for the game.
I still need to finish epilogue content. The 10 pieces of wreckage from something that I'm forgetting. I still haven't cleaned up.
Yeah.
Like the combat thing. I forgot about those.
I don't know if it's a combat thing. It's like 10 pieces of wreckage from the Asgard, I think. And they land in
you have shards of
realms.
Asgard that have crashed down.
Yeah.
Oh, those. Okay.
And I hear those are narratively significant to get all of them.
We have discussed this before, yes.
Right, yeah. We discussed
one in
this.
particular.
And
are we going to be watching Daredevil?
I already went to the encounter with Thrud. And I forget the name of the realm. The one with the elves. That was awesome. So I think I will return to the. What'd you say?
Svartalfheim, I think.
I don't think it's. I think it's Alfheim. Alfheim. Yeah, it's Alfheim. Yeah. So when I return to the game, I'll do that too. Right now it's uninstalled, dude. And that game's like 110 gigs, and it pisses me off. But I'll get to it.
Yeah. It's the.
Excuse me.
Whoa, Sam broke. So do you reset him?
I have broke. It's weird. Like it's quite an important part of the trailer, but not a lot of people seem to be talking about it.
Okay, let me talk about it.
Almost all of that trailer is set to OG God of War trilogy music, and the trilogy. The trailer ends with a Cyclops.
Can I be so honest? I don't know the original music. So.
I know God of War 3 music.
That is like
and the Cyclops.
That is the original main God of War theme from the OG trilogy. And the end of the trailer has the big Cyclops with a club coming at you, which is a synonymous villain from the Greek saga. So I did say, from what I'd heard, during the React, that this is going to be like, obviously it's going to have story because it's an epilogue, but like it's setting stuff up. And the fact that it's going to include at least one confirmed thing from the Greek era, you could probably extrapolate what could also maybe be happening here. That there is stuff, if you're fighting Cyclopses and the whole thing is confronting his past and being reflective.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, I ought to play the original God of War sometime. Oh yeah, maybe I'll finally take my PS3 out of the closet and play the saga.
My PS3.
The saga. Or I could just emulate God of War 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And Chains of Olympus. Or not what it was called, right? Chains of Olympus on the PSP.
Yeah, and then Ghost of Sparta as well.
Ghost of Sparta, right? Ascension doesn't exist. We're just gonna put that to the side.
Well, I mean, Ascension, it isn't as bad as people were saying it is. It's not the best by far, but it's terrible.
Is Ascension on PS Plus catalog? Or I
Yeah.
mean the premium?
Yeah, I
Dude,
think so.
Am I gonna purchase the premium tier?
I don't know. Are you?
Nah, I don't think so.
He says, saying he's dropping off of extra. Am I going to go back to premium? That's how they get
No,
you,
I think
Taylor.
I'm gonna just cancel my PS Plus subscription. Period. Like I won't have PlayStation Plus.
Oh, damn.
I'd rather buy the games I want to own, or if they're old games, I'll find a way to play them through legitimate means, not on the PS5.
You do you, man. You know?
Yeah. Don't tell me what to do. But all right. Yeah. So, yeah, this DLC is pretty cool and it's free. So take that.
Free dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Does you saying about like, is there going to be another one? Like DLC? No.
I think.
Does this
so.
negate
I
the
hope
potential of
so.
like an Atreus spin-off game? I don't think so.
Like a Miles Morales type situation here.
Yeah.
I really hope they do
I still
that because
that's on the cards.
I think there has to be something. I guess there doesn't
doesn't.
have to be, but I would really like for there to be something to bridge into the next game.
Well, the next game could just be a total reboot in a different area of the next game might be a totally clean slate. We don't know. We don't know if there will be any really continuity.
From how Ragnarok ends, it's almost impossible, I think, to fully clean slate it.
Yeah.
With sort of the trajectory that they've set Kratos on. Again, maybe the thing that is the lead into the next game is Valhalla.
Depends, right? It depends how Valhalla ends. I'm sure you'll tell us about that, Sam.
But my thing is that like I need more on what's going on with Atreus right now. Will I get it?
Who's
Probably
to say
not.
he won't be in Valhalla?
Do you know something, or are you just saying that?
No, that's just speculation. Okay. But like, if this is being reflective of his past, and you could also maybe then assume some kind of implication of his future, that it's feasible that Atreus could appear in some fashion. Maybe
it is possible.
Either way, we'll get more Atreus at some point, so it's okay.
Atreus has been canceled. Sam, how do you feel about Final Fantasy 16?
I love me some Final Fantasy 16. We're moving on to the next story.
I don't know.
Final Fantasy 16
is
getting 2 paid expansions. Echoes of the Fallen, which is currently out now and costs $9.99. And then the Rising Tide is the second expansion, which is set to release in spring 2024. So for Echoes of the Fallen, which again is available right now, it unlocks a whole new story with additional battles, weapons, accessories, level cap, an increased level cap, and more. So for players who have completed the required quests, this new adventure begins before the base game's final battle, which makes sense if you know, as strange dark crystals begin to circulate on the black market. Players will follow Clive and his friends during their investigations as they encounter a group of suspicious traders, leading them to a long-abandoned fallen tower known as the Sage Spire. There they will unravel the terrible secrets that await within. Players will also fight the iconic Final Fantasy boss, Omega. Bree, care to assist? Takeo.
Oh, the name. I was like, huh? Yeah. Sorry. Takeo Kujiraoka.
Thank you. Is the lead combat designer for Final Fantasy XVI and said, quote, "This DLC fleshes out the story around the Fallen a topic that remains shrouded in mystery in the main game. That said, one will not need to play the DLC to fully understand the main game. The content has been designed to provide a deeper insight into the world of Final Fantasy XVI and should prove enjoyable regardless of whether or not you have seen the main scenario's ending. End quote. So, special bonus items for purchasing Echoes of the Fallen. All the expansion paths, which include both expansions, include the Buster Sword, which allows Clive to wield Cloud Strife's iconic weapon from Final Fantasy VII, and the Away, in brackets 1987 orchestrion roll, which allows a chiptune version of the song Away to be played as a background music in the game's Hideaway. The Rising Tide, which is the second expansion, is set to release in spring 2024, as we've previously mentioned. It will bring new challenges and more, including the confrontation between Clive and the new to the game legendary icon Leviathan. All coming from Clara Herzog at the PlayStation blog.
Leviathan is really fun to fight in Final Fantasy 14.
I don't know anything about it, but I love Leviathans in works of fiction. So give me whatever it is in this one. I'll take it. And give me more icon fights.
What are you envisioning as a Leviathan, Taylor?
Like
when you think of Leviathan?
The underwater like monster Leviathan. That's what I think of.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Either Clive goes underwater or it comes into land, or maybe it's just called Leviathan. It's something different. Bree, am I off?
It looked it looked very, very similar to Leviathan and I mean, you can just look up Leviathan Final Fantasy 14. But
just like a big snaky boy.
It's just a long like snake dragon thing. But yeah, the combat for Final Fantasy 14, depending on which version of Leviathan you're fighting, because there's like more extreme versions of it. Typically you have some sort of like knockback, and or he knocks the platform on one side and you like can fall into the water. There's also like a shield because he has like a one-hit kill. And you have to use this like shield thing. So that's just some of like the stuff from the Final Fantasy 14 trial.
I could see them totally.
This. Sorry, Taylor, go.
Okay. What if they push Ifrit into the water and it's like Ifrit flames die down because Leviathan brings him underwater? There could be a whole fun dynamic there. But something tells me it won't be underwater. That would be cool.
Yeah, anyway. I was just going to say, like, it's obvious the dynamic is going to be different to something like 14 because you're going to be fighting Leviathan as Ifrit. I mean, not that it's going to transition to an underwater stage at any point, but in the trailer, it does look like Leviathan launches like a tide wave at you. So I don't know whether that's just during a battle. I mean, I don't know whether that's just an attack and like the wave will disappear once hit you / gone past you, or whether that is like a phase change situation, you know, where like the water rushes towards you and then you are essentially like maybe it's kind of you're more floaty when you're in the water, so you can sort of like fly up and
falling into the water in Final Fantasy 14 usually means like you're dead. You can't recover from that.
Well,
it's not a good thing. So
we're in like kaiju world, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying like I think that like especially considering that it's like fire based, I would suspect that the fight would be avoiding water as much as possible.
Well, I suppose it depends on if it takes place. If this DLC takes place just before the final battle. Okay, partial spoilers for Final Fantasy 16.
You've been warned.
Like Joshua's with you, so like, have they gotten to the stage? If it is directly before the final fight,
where Ifrit and Phoenix can combine.
Exactly, and in that case, Phoenix's shield can be used as a protective barrier.
Do they have an official name when they combine? I think I do, but I forget what it is.
I think it's like Ifrit Prime or something.
I think you're right. Oh, Bree, I'm sorry. You haven't... Damn. Spoilers for you.
So I'll have to go back and check the trailer to see whether it's just plain old different.
I did think that it was really funny that they just like spoiled like a huge story beat to announce the DLC with Joshua. But
Which story beat did they spoil?
Joshua,
That Joshua's alive.
yeah.
Oh, do they explicitly say Joshua was alive in this one?
Well, no,
I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's him.
But yeah, it's like it's a blonde guy that's like around the same age.
Oh, you're talking
a little
about
bit
for
younger than Clyde.
people that haven't gotten that far in the game. They don't understand
Yeah.
that.
Yes, that don't know that he's alive.
That don't know that he's alive
Yeah.
after his childhood. I
Yeah.
thought you meant okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. And that was a huge. I mean, from playing the game, that was a gigantic story moment for me.
Somewhat
What?
expected, but still.
I expected it, but like
they
the reveal, I'm
linger
like,
long enough that
it's
was
him, right? It
surprising
has to
still.
be him. I love the suspense until it was
Yeah.
finally revealed.
Yeah. Once I knew, I was like, okay, I've had enough of the game. Just kidding.
Dude, what's his name? How could I forget his name?
Five?
No, the fight with Bahamut and Dion. Maybe the most bombastic boss fight in video games in terms of scale I've seen in my entire life. All right. Anyway, absolutely outrageous. Okay. I think Bloodborne has the best boss fights I've seen, but in terms of scale, that fight was
Titan as well. Whew.
incredible. Titan was my number 2. A lot of people didn't like the Titan fight, but I'm like, dude, I am running up one of his arms.
Were your eyes open during the fight? Come on.
And then when he goes to Lost Titan, I believe, that form, it's like you're swinging off of rock arms that are 300 feet above the ground.
And you're like dive bombing out of the sky with part of one of his tendrils. And
Bree, the Titan fight makes Ifrit look like a cat on your leg. If you're Titan, you're the human, and Ifrit's the cat on your leg.
I don't want that kind of cat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sounds a little chaotic.
Yeah.
So sorry, a question that's just popped into my head that's probably worth answering. Like it seems we're all gonna it seemed like we were all gonna try at least the God of War Valhalla thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll probably 100%.
Are either of you two planning on playing this DLC?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm getting the Final Fantasy 16. I'll get both DLCs. And they said the season pass is cheaper than both individually. So the first DLC is $10 originally. So the second one going to be like 20. They even show the price point yet?
I mean, well, from the trailer, it does look like Rising Tide is introducing a new area
bigger
as well.
Yeah.
So I could see that being a little bit more expensive. Maybe it's like 15, and then you can get the expansion for expansion pass for 20, and then save 5.
The expansion pass that already have price is $25. It's on the PlayStation Store. But they haven't priced the Rising Tide yet from what I've seen on the store. So I'm like,
then maybe you're right.
Yeah. They priced Echoes of the Fallen at 10. So is Rising Tide 20 then? And then you save $5 for the season pass, I guess. That's what this looks like.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Also, they confirmed for this DLCs yet if when you do the DLC content, is that with an existing save that you already have, or like with certain gear that you already have at a certain point in the game, you just have to load a save, or is it you select it differently from the main menu and you start out with a very specific set of gear with very specific set of skills unlocked? I'm curious how that fixes in, because in Valhalla, the God of War DLC, it's a separate selection from the main menu. You have all your skills unlocked, no armor other than cosmetics. They make that very clear.
Yeah, I mean, in this description here, it says for players who have completed the required quests. So I think you do have to reach that stage of the game to play the DLC.
I mean,
which makes sense,
right? And once you beat the game, you have a little star next to your save, but your save is still before the final sequence.
Mm-hmm.
So if you beat the game, you have that DLC on hand. I mean, you have the save on hand for the DLC.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm excited. I love the lore.
Cliving it up, Bree?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also have some. I need to get.
I'm just being honest. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I assumed that was probably going to be the answer, which is, we can fill you in if anything super exciting happens, and then we can be like, Bree, you need to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I mean,
you would have to finish the game, right? It looks like, to be able to access it anyway.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how far off I am from beating the game, to be honest.
What do you remember the last story beat that happened?
No.
No. I'm not going to try to predict. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did this happen
That's
yet?
probably
Did this
the
happen
best.
yet?
If you just look at your most recent trophy, I think it should be a fair proxy because you get trophies for beating every major icon fight, I believe.
Let me look. I actually already have my trophies open here, so.
Mm.
I was looking at to see how far I got in Alan Wake, but the trophies weren't helpful.
There's also the main progress indicator when you mouse over the game with your controller on the home screen. That's your progress for the main story specifically, not your trophy progress, where it gives you a percentage in the bottom right corner.
I'm so upset that the rarest trophy I've earned is petting the dog 5 times. Who's not petting the dog?
I also haven't platinumed this game yet. Maybe the DLC might motivate me, but I don't think so.
New Game Plus, Taylor. You're not going to do it, I don't think.
Yeah, you're right. Not.
The most recent thing I have is Twilight Rose, and it just says revisit the past. But I know I'm past that point.
That might have been a flashback, or no? Was that? Do you remember the sequence? Spoilers for Final Fantasy 16, where Clive and Josh visited a certain grave. If it's that point, you would be very far. I think. Actually, that's a side mission. That's a side mission. I remember.
No, so I remember getting, I guess again, spoilers, guys. Sorry. I remember getting the Chocobo. And then I remember running around with the Chocobo for like, there's like a quest where you go to his like uncle's house or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. And then you do that whole quest line, and then there's like a cutaway to, and then you have like kind of a fight with Titan, but not really.
Oh, did you cut off someone's hands?
Yes. And then I think I did a little bit past that because there's like another time jump thing.
Well, yeah, like 5 years later, 3 years later, and you're still in the desert.
Maybe I'm getting stuff mixed up in my head. But yeah, no. I did that extra time jump where there's like that like Coliseum fight thing, and then I was like another time jump, and then I kind of like dipped out.
Right. Okay. So you're maybe, I want to say 60% through the main story. So
yeah, that sounds right.
I've also stopped playing Lights of P, if that makes anybody feel better.
Oh, what was the reason there?
I got really mad at this boss. No. I love the game. This boss is just kicking my butt, and I'm
Which one?
The toxic whatever dude with that pit, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't have I think I could beat it if I had the star fragments, but I don't have enough patience to go farm those dumb fragments. Because I almost beat it. I think it had like that much health bar on the second health bar. It was like so little. Mm-hmm. And yeah, anyways, point being, I'm pretty sure I could beat it, but I would have to go farm the star fragments, which are really annoying to farm. Because they're wildly inconsistent drop rate.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
According to Google.
Into the Graveyard of Brianna games.
Oh. Echoes of the Fallen is about 3 hours, but Rising Tide is about 10 hours, apparently.
Ooh.
Which is a lot longer than I expected.
That's a long DLC. Okay, wait. This is slightly tangentially related, but I genuinely can't remember. None of us have played Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Sam has.
I haven't finished it.
Oh, so that's an interesting question. Are you going to finish?
I've played like 5 hours of it.
I have the OG, so I planned my master plan, which probably will never happen. I wanted to play and beat the OG Final Fantasy VII and then play the remake trilogy. But OG Final Fantasy VII would probably be me only playing that game for like 3 months straight. So if I actually was going to beat it. So what's probably going to happen is I'm just going to put my hands up and say, I'll just play remake, and I'll do that, and then go to Rebirth and experience the games that way. Everyone says like, no, you should experience the OG first. They change things, and I'm like, yeah, I know, dude, but
Oh my god.
Sam, I assume you're not playing Rebirth day one, then, are you? Unless you get assigned it.
Unless somehow I get roped into covering it, but that typically doesn't happen. I have a pretty good dynamic with my editors where I can sort of pick and choose the stuff I cover now. But yeah, like I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm not picking it up day one. So the only way I'd be playing it out of the gate is if somebody dropped out and they needed someone to help. So I will play it eventually, I'm sure, but I will need to go back and finish remake first.
Okay. Yeah, I need to play. Cloud is one of my favorite characters, like from Kingdom Hearts, of course.
Oh my god, wrong answer. It's like saying Kratos is my favorite character from Fortnite. All right, that's what that feels like. You're
No,
saying.
he's not my favorite character in Kingdom Hearts, but that's where I know him from is Kingdom Hearts. I was like, who is this?
Rip.
Kingdom Hearts is so good. I don't know why you guys hate on it so much.
Nah. Disney doesn't need more exposure.
Let's Taylor talk about not Ghost of Tsushima.
Right. Okay. Rise of the Ronin, the third-person action game developed by Team Ninja, the same people who make the Neo titles and who made Ninja Gaiden at Koei Tecmo, showed Rise of the Ronin at the Game Awards, and it's releasing March 22nd with a new trailer. And I think it looks really good. So as a recap, Rise of the Ronin, and it's a PS5 console exclusive. I believe it's a PS5 as it stands in when it releases. It will be a PS5 exclusive. Period. No PC, no Xbox, no Switch.
Yep.
So as a recap, Rise of the Ronin features a historical setting that that's Koei Tecmo claims is quintessential to them, and it has Team Ninja's own brand of action and combat that we've seen in their previous titles like Neo and Gaiden, as I mentioned. It's their biggest game to date, and they're working along SIE to create an experience that allows players to, quote, fully embody a Ronin during the closing days of the Tokugawa shogunate. And at the end of the 19th century, which is, right, the 1800s, it was characterized by the fall of the shogunate, which was a period of oppression and stagnation. And it was a time where innovators like Ryoma Sakamoto and Shoun Yoshida sought to modernize the country. And the game's Ronin protagonist, which we'll play as, finds their destiny to these characters, some of whom we saw in the most recent trailer in different ways. And our choices will shape how our character aligns or clashes with those different story characters and their factions. We'll also explore the world of late Edo period Japan by horse and glider, and while battling with a wide range of weapons and equipment, including melee weapons like sword and spears, as well as ranged weapons like firearms and thrown items. And you're also armed with a grappling rope and stealth tactics. See, that seems maybe like some inspiration from Sekiro. You can expect the variety and freedom that's expressed in the latest trailer. This comes to us from Fumihiko Yasuda, who's the director and president of Team Ninja at the PS blog. I don't know if we mentioned before, but the Final Fantasy XVI story was covered by Claire Herzog at PS blog. So yeah, I thought from this article, which was specifically interesting is that if our choices might matter, which has me very interested. I'm always for more choice in games and having that meaningfully affect the narrative. So I'm really interested to see how that plays into this game. But yeah, I'm excited also for the firearm stuff. Give me a katana and a flintlock pistol or something, like some steampunk video game firearm. I'm like, seems fun to me. Maybe it's just me, but I'm expecting more gore and dismemberment than we saw in Ghost of Tsushima in this game. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to try it. I think I'll be getting Rise of the Ronin day one. maybe not, but I'm going to play it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm not quite sold yet. I like everything I'm seeing. I'm not the biggest Neo guy. I've tried both, bounced off of both relatively quickly. I think that this probably has the highest chance of drawing me in of any of Ninja's games.
Also, since Neo, you've played Elden Ring and Armored Core 6, so you're not a stranger anymore to very challenging third-person combat.
No, well, I mean, even before that,
Or in Bloodborne, of course. Yeah, never mind.
Done Bloodborne. I've done Demon Souls. I'm familiar with Souls-like games. Let me assure you of that.
More than I am.
Liza P. this year, even. So, but this is far more of an RPG than anything we've seen before in the genre. With, like you say, the choices, I think that's the most interesting thing to me. Like, exactly how much of an RPG is this? That I'm still not quite certain of, and I think that will be the deciding factor for me. I can almost guarantee I will likely end up covering this game, probably. I just, you get those feelings sometimes where it's like, I just can tell that something's going to happen. I have a feeling that this is going to be something, because I've done so much Souls-like coverage for IGN, whether it was Elden Ring or Armored Core or Lies of P, or even earlier this year, like Dynasty, which is quite in line with this. I can see myself being drafted back in, but time will tell. I'm interested, but I don't know that I would go out of my way to play this straight away, unless it gets glowing reviews.
I think I'm on the same page. I don't think I have much to say beyond that because you're right. Like, I'm gonna wait and see the reviews. I every time we see this game, I always think that it looks like older than it actually is, considering it hasn't like released yet. It always feels like it's like a PS4 era game every time I see it.
Yeah,
but we'll see how it reviews, and that is true. And yeah, maybe. But if I do, I know myself, I'd have to play like all the other games. I'd be like, oh, well, then I had to play Neo first, and then Neo 2, just how I am. So
even though they're not connected.
Yeah.
Wow. Dedication.
Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's just mental illness, but
No. That's not real.
Bit of both,
You're right. Mental illness isn't real.
That's a slope we don't want to go down, do we?
Okay, mental illness
okay.
is mental illness is real.
I was told this the other day. ADHD isn't real. Depression isn't real. Obviously, none of it.
Who's saying these things?
Social construct.
Saying these things?
Unfortunately,
we know who's
my
saying
dad's
these
really
things.
close friend.
I'm gonna go to your dad's friend's house and
he lives in another country. That might be difficult.
I'm gonna put olive oil all over their floors. Then they're gonna wake up and step in it and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, I'm a little slimy today."
That's really gross.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that I think it was a TikTok that I posted where it's like every time you do something, like you have to go like wash your hands. That's exactly what I thought of. Where I was like, I cannot deal with oil, like butter, oil, stuff like that. The way that it sticks to your hand makes me want to throw up. I could not.
Anyway, Sam, our resident game preservation focal,
specialist.
you want to talk about this next story, which sucks.
Oh, there. So, PlayStation is going to be deleting purchased Discovery shows from your catalog. Oh no. Sony announced on December 4th that it would remove all Discovery content, including shows like Mythbusters and Deadliest Catch, from user libraries, even if they have been purchased on the PlayStation Store. Sony has said that Discovery shows will be deleted on December 31st of this year, 2023, attributing the decision to, quote, our content licensing arrangements with content providers, end quote. This move came as Warner Bros. Discovery, which owns Discovery content, is seeking to add more subscribers to its Max and Discovery Plus streaming services in competition with others like Netflix and Disney Plus. More than 1,200 purchasable titles will be removed from the PlayStation Store, Forbes reported, including Cake Boss, which follows the adventures of a family-owned bakery in New Jersey for over a decade, as well as American Chopper, which is a reality series about the hot-headed owners of the Orange County Choppers motorcycle garage. Sony did not respond to a request for comment. Last year, the PlayStation Store also removed Studio Canal films and TV shows from devices in Austria and Germany, despite user purchase, citing, quote, evolving licensing agreements, end quote, reported from John Porter at The Verge, and this entire article is coming from Eduardo Medina at the New York Times. Yeah, it's almost like basing your entire ecosystem around a digital platform is a bad idea, you know? Almost. Where licenses are the one thing that grants you access to content, regardless of what that content is. Yes.
Controversial.
Like, I don't know, this specifically to me, this is nothing burger because I don't really buy a lot of digital content, and I certainly haven't purchased any Discovery shows. But like, I don't know what people expect. Licenses have to be renewed. If that content isn't performing well, they aren't going to renew the licenses because they're just bleeding money on things that they aren't going to even slightly recoup. And let alone the fact that, you know, it mentions that the move came because Warner Brothers is seeking to add more subscribers to their own streaming services. So they're going to strip the option to access that content from other places. So basically what I'm saying is purchase physical media and don't rely on subscription services.
See, okay, first of all, this sucks. Removing content you paid for is stupid, and I don't like it. And well, not just stupid, it is ethically theft. Functionally, it isn't because you signed a fine print agreement that said they can do this. But when it comes to game preservation, I used to be like all USAM, and then I started moving often. And then I'm like, if I just maintain a PC that, and like I talked last week, where I can just stockpile all these digital games, they could eventually be removed, yes. But if I really care about playing an older video game that, if you have a PC, there will be a way to do it. Whether it's emulating 10 to 15 to 20 years down the line from the console came out on, depending on how complex it is to emulate that console. It's like, I think that's a more reliable way of preserving than physical media, because degrading digital files through time, I think, has a smaller chance of damage than the physical ones do. Discs break down and all that jazz. I guess just a side tangent that I think game preservation is really important. But I think in this case, in the short term, physical media, I think, is the best way to preserve. But in the long term, I think it's just constantly keeping an updated catalog of digital. What has a smaller chance of being destroyed, especially with how well you can preserve things through cloud and whatnot nowadays, through both like local copies that you have hard drives in your hand, stored in the cloud, stored on multiple computers, like layers of protection there. But you can't get that without the physical media in some cases, or if you care to, right, to transpose it to digital in the future, you need the physical game to do. Well, if the game's not on the disc, would you be able to get a PS5 disc and rip it onto a computer in the future? Or does the PS5 disc only have the key to play the game?
I haven't got a clue.
I don't know. So, but yeah, I echo your sentiment about get rid of subscription services. Like, I think I'm going to be, after my Game Pass is over, I'm probably going to be dropping Game Pass, and I think I'm likely going to be dropping PS Plus and buying the games outright. I'd rather take the risk on a digital market. I'd rather take the risk of buying a digital item on a digital marketplace and having that revoked than it leaving a subscription service and having to deal with that risk on a month-to-month basis.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this discovery pull is a key example of, even if you buy it, you just have the license. So that's the trade-off I make. And I'm comfortable making that trade-off. Because if I really care, I can hunt it down on PC eventually. That's kind of my policy on it. But I hate it. But like, Sam, you get a lot of digital codes for games you review, right? Do you go out and buy physical copies of all the games you get for review that you really enjoy?
No, I don't. And trust me, this is a conversation I've had with myself multiple times, because most of the games I've played in the last 3 years, I, one, haven't paid for, and two, haven't gotten physical copies of.
Right.
Which obviously, again, I've mentioned it before, but obviously that's coming from a place of privilege within my job. Obviously, it's not. I'm not just getting them gratis. I am having to work with them. But yeah, like there are plenty of games. Most of the games that I've covered, I would have liked to have owned physically. Like, I would love to own Armored Core, Final Fantasy 16. I do have Spider-Man 2 physical, obviously. I mean, technically not, because there's no code in the collector's edition, but whatever. And there are a few like minor examples. Like, I know I have what do I have? I have like Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. I bought that physical, even though I was also working on it via a code. Just because technically it had a cool steelbook, so I wanted the steelbook. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I have considered going out and just secondhand buying a lot of the games that I covered over the past couple of years, but I haven't quite pulled the trigger yet. But I likely will. It's just a matter of when, not if. There's just a sense of security that I have holding something in my hand.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bree,
do you like Discovery stuff, Bree?
Yeah, Deadliest Catch. Yeah.
No, I really don't. I really, really don't. But yeah, I mean, I think that we're seeing like, we're starting to see stuff like, I don't want to say like die, but like I guess it kind of is like we're starting to see content die. And sometimes it's really good content. And yeah, unless you like somehow own a physical copy, like there's no ways to go back and get it. So, I mean, the thing is you're kind of making like a bet, right? Like when you're investing, or you're just saying, I don't really care. For example, like I buy stuff on Apple TV. So like I have the Barbie movie, I have both the Spider-Verses, stuff like that. I bought that digitally, like on Apple. So like I'm making like a bet or an investment and saying like Apple will last. But maybe not always the case. So I think it's interesting to see content die.
I'll be interested to see whether there is a breaking point of the trade-off of object permanence and security versus convenience. You know,
Yeah.
the digital is obviously the more convenient option for a variety of reasons.
For me,
But
that's
I don't
what's
know
happened.
whether
Yeah.
with this content, you say, Bree, sort of dying and many subscription services across different mediums struggling more and more as time goes on. I'm interested to see how things progress and whether there is a like reversion almost where physical media becomes more common again.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we're not there right now, but I think it's possible over the next 5-10 years that we go back to something like that.
I would. My guess is that we'll probably keep going the way that things are.
Sure.
I think that there's just humans love convenience and being able to access everything from like your phone. I think it is definitely, it's a very valuable thing. It's definitely an investment. But I think that since humans are fairly lazy creatures and also like just love convenience, I don't know if we'll keep getting worse where there's less and less physical content, but I also don't think that it's going to get better.
I expect it to become more of a niche in the same way that like vinyl is, where CDs was how you bought music, and then streaming and digital completely upended that industry. And then a little bit later on, vinyl started coming back in, and people were buying that. And obviously, that's quite still like it's a big market, but it's arguably still considered a niche. I expect that is probably where physical media is going to be. And trust me, I'm going to be in there. If I have to buy a detachable hard drive for the next PlayStation so I can play physical media, I will do it.
Silly man.
I will die on this hill.
Nice.
I mean, I think that I don't want to say I'm the same way because I will buy books digitally, but if I really love a book, I'll get a physical copy. But it's also like, I would say, like, I was thinking about this the other day, but like, even if I get nothing else on my bucket list, like, I want a library like Belle. Like, that's like my big thing. Like, I just want like a huge library. And I like I'm well on my way to, I have well over 1,000 books, which 1,000 books is the cutoff for having a library. It's like 1,000 books is the cutoff. So I officially have a library, but like having like that big room with all the books and stuff is my dream. So I'm definitely that way with books, but with games, I'm like not as worried about it.
That's fair.
All right, well, brings us to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube at Save the Game Media, and Discord links are all in the show notes. Where can people find you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FABULAST BREANNA.
What about you, Sam?
Anywhere and everywhere at Sam Heaney, HEANEY.
Nice. You find me at Taylor, as Taylor on the Discord, yeah. Until next time, it's been episode 72 of No Limits. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.